Welcome, Transformers fans. My name is Composite EnerJoe, and today I will be reviewing the Transformers the movie Voyager class Starscream. And here he is in his iconic Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor fighter jet mode. And here he is. And as you can plainly see, the inherently the biggest problem that this figure has, that it doesn't really bother me that much, is that it's a big chunky figure. And you'll notice that, and I guess fans will know that later versions will have slimmed him down greatly from the Deluxe class and Voyager classes in Revenge of the Fallen and the later Dark of the Moon Leader class. I will have to say are superior versions than this one. However, this one has a certain charm to it. And apparently I'm not the only one that thinks that, because this mold was retooled and repainted a good like 7 or 8 times. Like just for example, for Starscream in this mold you have this version, for the movie 1 version, then it was repainted with a new head into a G1 inspired one, then that version was repainted into Thundercracker, then that also was repainted into Ramjet. And I think Ramjet, there was like 2 versions of Ramjet. I think there's like 2 or 3 other versions of Starscream in this mold. And even Ramjet got a version in this mold, which was like white. That's astounding how this mold, even though it is probably of the movie Starscreams like the weakest I think of all the molds, even though I like it, it got reused so many times. Like that's just astounding. And well, that's enough of a history lesson with this guy. And I will go into some features that you can do in his jet mode. First, let me get a missile. And speaking of which, this is not the missile that comes with him. Those are supposed to be black. This is brown. This actually came with a Ramjet. I had to get it from a secondary source. But yeah, it's still compatible. You put the missile in there. And well, since that one's loaded, I'll go over on this side. One thing this does is that there's a little wheel here that causes this thing to move. And there's a little bit of plastic here that is connected here that touches the gun barrels. And what it's supposed to do is that when this moves, it rotates. It'll rotate like that. It'll rotate, and then when it hits this part, it'll launch a missile. And that's supposed to happen when you're rolling him on the ground. The barrels would like roll automatically and then just fire off his missiles. It's a neat idea, but honestly, it's not that great. You need a respectively hard, flat surface that is able to do that, and it's okay. It's I guess for most people it's hit or miss. To me, it's sort of a miss. I don't particularly like it. And one thing that is kind of cool is that these black parts here, a lot of other reviewers don't mention this, but this is a missile holder. You can this is actually a way of storing the missiles without having him actually have him loaded on his cannons. So you can have him hold it, and the other side also has it. Whoops, pops up. They rarely use them, so they know that won't pop off. And that is... Darn it. Okay, there. I'm not going to mess with that one. That one pops off for me. But yeah, this is just a missile holder, which is kind of cool. That I like. That I think is pretty good, more so than the Rolly gimmick. So, let's get on to his transformation, which is fairly straightforward. It's a fairly simple transformation. You unpeg here and pull them out. And then you pop... Well, I might as well get the legs out of the way. Come back here. Legs, unpeg from there, open this up, make sure you take that off, and to make it easier, fold that down, then pull the leg, it's on a slider, pull it, put it down, close, open up, same thing over here, pull, make sure that's open, down, up, and then separate, and then that will be... We'll adjust that later. Now to the front part. So then, oh yeah, it kind of did it on its own, but you come over here and unpeg that. Same thing with this side. Then you come under here and you pop this off. And then it does a bit of an automorph. So again, different. You slide this up with enough clearance. When you slide this up, when you slide this up, there we go. It'll do that. It'll do that. And then from there, you fold this a bit, and you turn, and you make sure you have enough clearance. If it makes it easy, you can pop that off and turn it to the back. And you fold that down. I like to do that just to cover the holes a bit. So then, same thing on this side. Make sure you fold. Bugs me that pops off, but no, there has to be a way for me to do that without that popping off. So that'll eventually be the chest. Whatever, if you can find another way without popping that up, like, you can do it. No, I'm gonna do it. I know I'm wasting time, but I'm going to do it, darn it. There, I did it. Okay, popped off, hold on. Last try. I had to be able to do this without it popping off. There, didn't pop off. You're supposed to get that back here. It's supposed to be, well, you can see his face. It's supposed to be like that. And then with these up here, you can do whatever you want with them. Make sure you fold the arms like that. Arms like that. And then these, I'll adjust those later. Make sure this is like that, like that, like that. Fold that. Well, I can do that later. Now we take this part, with this part here, pull it up, and peg it there, and that'll make these things stay in place. So then we go to the front. These things, what I like to do is have them flush like that, so it covers some of the holes. Then you do the head reveal. Fold this down. Turn his head, and he does have light piping. Turn his head, and there's a Starscream. Not done yet. You fold this down, and you can pop. You can open that up to have more of a chest thing. Then you just come down here and finagle his legs and his feet. And well, these you can do whatever you want with these. I like to have them like this to make it more cohesive. And this, on mine at least, likes to slip back to where it shouldn't be. Hopefully it'll stay like that for the rest of the review. And here he is. This is movie Starscream. And one thing I have to say about this figure that is at least a plus for me, that I enjoy, is that he is a big figure. He is big. Even for a Voyager, he's pretty big. He is a big guy. He's so not Starscream. That's the thing. But here he is. Fairly straight, fairly simple transformation. You just have to. I guess the most complicated part is folding these back wings. Over, and that one automorph, which wasn't too bad. When it comes to automorphs, it wasn't half bad. So here is Starscream, and I like him. Like I said, I understand. I get why they reuse them so much. They reuse this mold because it's a fairly solid mold. Straightforward transformation, and it's a very solid mold. So let's go into a little bit of articulation. The head is a swivel, then arms out that far. They do this. Elbow that far down. Legs can do okay kick. Okay kick. Forward that far, and a little bit back. And you can actually have a bunch of joints on the legs to do a bunch of stuff. And that's pretty much it. These, you can do the missile holders there. And, oh yeah, one other cool kind of thing that they tried to do. He technically has hands. It's not just these cannons. If you look here, these little sort of tan parts can open up. And he has claws. So yeah, they actually did give him hands. And you can also roll into to rotate. But yeah, he has hands. He has these really wicked looking claws. And I say, I personally kind of like these big rotating cannon claw hands, more so than his regular sort of was it 2 thumb 6 finger hand thing he has. Yeah, I will admit that the later figures are overall better representations of the character, are more screen accurate. However, I personally like this version of the toy, this version of the character, because of how just sturdy he is, how big, stocky, and just overall sturdy he is. This is I'm giving this guy a recommendation, and all of his future repaints and whatnot. I say get any version of this. It's okay to get any version of this mold. This is a good figure. I approve of it. I personally like it. Like I said, the only reason you would not like this figure would be if you just if you don't like the fact that he's not slimmer like his movie counterpart. Like I said, I personally like these big old cannon hands with the claws. This is and I like it. I thought this was a really nice. They at least tried to give him hands along with his cannon. So it's like they tried to have their cake and eat it too. And I think they succeeded. I said, overall, this is a really solid figure. Transformation is not that complicated. It's a fairly straightforward transformation. It's just a really sturdy figure that I'm giving. It's sturdy, and it just looks tough. You look at this straight on, it looks like a tough figure. And, well, might as well do a close-up of his face. If it gets into frame. It doesn't want to do it. Yeah, I don't understand why it's not focusing. There we go. And that's his face. Not exactly, but it's a decent representation of the movie face. But yeah. Yeah, that is my review of the Transformers, the movie, Voyager class, Starscream. And like I said, I honestly think he's worth having. Either this version or any of his many repaints and retools. Any of the other figures. I really do like this figure. That's my review. Once again, this is the Transformers, the movie, Voyager class Starscream. This is Composite EnerJoe, signing off. Peace out.